Good morning, dear children. This is Manik sir going to teach you about polling and counting of vote. Today we shall discuss about polling and counting of vote. So, dear children, the final stage of elections is the casting of votes. The final stage of election is to cast the votes. And while we are casting the votes, during that time, we used to go to the schools and colleges where we see the polling booth, and there we used to cast the vote here. Usually, those people who used to cast votes are whose names must be there in the voter list. Those whose names are in the voter list, they are eligible to give the votes here. And before the elections, their names are being introduced. They are used to given a paper here that they must give votes on the following date. So, dear children, so in order to cast the vote, they used to go to the local area. They used to go to the local polling booth center. It must be the schools and colleges, and in local booth center we see the officers as well as the agents who used to be there during the time of elections. So, dear children, the agents who used to allow those kind of peoples whose names are there in this voter list, those peoples will be allowed to give the votes here, and they will be given the permissions to enter into the polling booth in order to cast the vote here. So in the earlier time we have seen that there was a ballot paper. The ballot paper has been there in the earlier time, and in the ballot paper there was a symbols along with the political parties and the leaders names as well as their signs and symbols will be there in the ballot paper. So people used to cast the votes by mark on the ballot paper here. But right now, dear children, we see the coming of electronic voting machines. It is in short form, it is known as EVM. So see, at present, at the old time there was ballot paper. So the the voters were using ballot paper and they were casting votes here. But right now we see the coming of electronic voting machines, and in short form it is known as EVM. So here in this EVM, the machines will also allow to show the names of the candidates, at the same time the party symbols, and by seeing the names as well as the party symbols and names, and when they will see the party symbols and names here, the voter will cast the vote here, and after a few days there will be a fixed date will be given, for counting, or basically during the general elections the countings are happening in one particular day, and when the countings are happening during that time, dear children, we understand that the live telecast are given through radio, televisions, internet, paper, and through that the live telecast or live updates of these elections results are given to the public here. So the live telecast are happening here with the help of TV, radios and televisions. And so dear children, during the time of counting, I have already told you that the agents they used to present, and while the time of counting, the live telecast are given, and they used to provide the latest news regarding the exit poll here. And here, whoever is leading during the time of elections, they used to be declared winner of the political party. So in the exit poll itself, dear children, we understand that we used to be given a notice as well as the latest news that the leading persons who are going to be the winner during the time of counting process. During the time of counting process, a person who is leading here, or a person who used to get more votes here, used to be declared winner of the political parties here. So dear children, we used to get lot of information through the medias, through the radio, televisions, that there used to be unfair practices in elections. The political parties, they used to do many kind of illegal activities which is not at all suitable or which is not at all good during the time of elections. And those activities are such as including of false names. So in order to winning over the elections, many times the inclusions of false names used to find during the time of elections. Sometimes a person who is dying, their names also used to be seen during the time of elections, and a person who is having good connections with these officials, they used to cast votes by having or in the name of the false names. And after that, during the time of elections, we see the misuse of government vehicles. The government vehicles, the government officers, they are being used by the political parties here. So such kind of things are also referred to these illegal activities according to these terms and conditions of the election commissions. One cannot do during the time of elections. And what are those things? Including a false name, then using of government machinery, using of government vehicles, using of government officers, then using of excess money. At the same time, using the malpractices activities such as rigging on polling day. And what is that rigging on polling day? We have seen mostly during the time of elections that the political parties, they used to show gundaisms, they used to show different kind of malpractices in order to win over the elections. So such kind of illegal activities which is not at all suitable for democratic society, because the elections should be democratic here. That means why it should be democratic? Democratic society or democratic elections means we need to practice in a proper manner. We need to have a proper practices here. We should not adopt the shortcut winning. In shortcut winning, dear children, we do all these kind of illegal activities which is not at all good for democracy, because democracy, it always shows or it always tells that we should have the fair, or we should have a free and fair elections. That means we should have the elections in a proper way. We should not follow the improper ways to win over the elections, because using false name, using government officers, using government vehicles, then laying foundations, using excess money, then using rigging activities, all these are illegal activities which is not at all suiting for democratic society. So dear children, we should conduct elections in a such way we should lead to proper democracy, because democracy, it is talking about free and fair elections. That means without doing any wrong tricks, we have to win over the elections. So dear children, today I was trying to tell you about polling and counting of votes. So during the time of elections, in the earlier time, we do the ballot paper. By using the ballot paper, the names of the individuals as well as the symbols of the individuals will be found in the ballot paper, and by seeing that people were casting votes. At presently, we have the latest machines, that is known as the EVM, electronic voting machines. In electronic voting machines also, we see the party symbols along with the names of the candidates of the political parties. So they used to use the electronic voting machines. At the same times, there used to be fixed a particular day for counting, and on the counting day, the agents used to be present, and during the time of counting, we see the exit poll, and in the exit poll, my dear children, all the informations, all the latest informations are given to the people through radio, televisions as well as newspaper. So this is all about polling day and counting of vote. At the same time, we see the unfair practices which happens during the time of elections, which I have already told you, that including a false name, using of government, misusing of government resources, misusing of excessive money, at the same time rigging activities. So if we want to be a true democratic society, then we need to do the elections in a proper way. If we are doing elections in the wrong ways, then it is not referring to proper democratic society. Thank you so much, my dear children.